Hello, I'm VX and this is Q&A Saturday, a weekly series I run on my channel where I try to answer some of your questions from last week's Q&A. These obviously tend to revolve a lot around the future of Minecraft, but they can also be about anything else you'd like to ask. And after you finish this video, I feel free to leave one in the comments down below that might be asked for next week. Anyway, I hope you all do enjoy this weekly series, like if you do, because it helps out the channel a lot and lets me know you do want to see more of these. But with that said, let's get straight into it already, shall we? And let's start with the very first question, which comes in from Bro is awesome, who asks if I have a prediction for the next theme, and by using only the one clue we have. So, yeah, there has actually been a couple of clues since then, or at least a few features revealed, because if you're curious, he's asking about the theme for the next Minecraft PC update. Ever since, I think it was Minecraft 1.4, the Pretty Scary update, they've named every update something, so, Pretty Scary, then Redstone, then there was, like, Bountiful, there's a bunch of different update names that kind of theme the update around that, and, yeah, the 1.12 update theme, if I had to guess just based on what we've seen so far, I think it's going to be something to do with creative or building. So it could be, like, the building update or the creative update, because you'll notice how most of the stuff we've seen so far, although not exclusive to creative, you've got to bear in mind, most people that use, paintings are probably in creative. Most people that use, wool blocks, although you can get them in survival and you can kind of build of them, if you're building massive structures of them, you probably don't care unless you're in creative. So, add that to the features that we've seen that are specifically for creative, such as being able to save inventories. I really think the next theme for the update, to just, name it right now, it's going to be the creative update, but creative not as in, like, Minecraft creative mode, although that could be a double play on words. I think it would be, like, creative as in, like, things that you can do that are kind of creation-y. But yeah, that's the first question. I think it will be the creative update, but obviously they could reveal, like, tomorrow there's like a giant alligator, and then it'll be the swamp update or something. We'll have to wait and see. But so far, I'd have to guess the creative update. So with that said, let's move on to the second question, which comes in from Joshua Fisher, who says #Q, because that's the correct thing to say. Anyway, if you could choose a video game franchise to own, which one would you choose? P.S. I ate Five Guys. So let me actually quickly follow up and say a lot of people were confused because they thought I thought Five Guys was only in the UK. I know it's an American franchise that just moved to the UK, but the speed that it expanded in the UK was crazy, was what I was trying to get at. And yeah, since I said that'd be the fast food franchise I like to own, Joshua Fisher asked what video game franchise would I like to own. So I think regardless of what my goal with taking the franchise over is going to be, whether it's money or just making a game I'd really like to be, I think it'd have to be the Call of Duty series, because I think at this point the game is one that loads of people have played at some point. Everyone liked one of the games, whether everyone liked Call of Duty 4 or Modern Warfare 2 or Black Ops 1, everyone liked a certain game in the series, and they think it's gone downhill since then. That's the common trend amongst everyone, even the people that do play the game still. So the easiest thing to do, whether you're trying to just make, assuming you want to make a game that most people like and that makes a lot of money, is you just go like, oh yeah, well apparently people don't like the modern games, so we'll make one in World War II or go back to World War I like Battlefield, and all you have to do is do that, but with some shiny new features, and people will go, whoa, this is so crazy. Or go the other side of things and actually full on commit to being in the future, because you'll notice how the game they made a bunch of futuristic Call of Duty games, but they're getting more and more uncomfortable about being it. So for instance, the jetpacks only last for like half a second in this game. Then they're trying to pretend they're not the future while very clearly being in the future, and it's really, really uncomfortable. So I think the solution to making a good Call of Duty game is just to pander to what people want, and then if they don't like that, then try going the entire opposite direction. And yeah, I guess you'd make free games because there's free studios. You'd be like, okay, you guys, you're gonna make World War II, you're gonna make Modern Warfare 4 because that doesn't even make sense, but it's great, you're gonna do it anyway. And then put the Sledgehammer guys on making, okay, this is even more futuristic, even more crazy warfare where you're boosting 16,000 miles in the air. You gotta go like all out on all these things rather than trying to make the same game every year but pretending it's different. That's what I would say is bad. And yeah, that was probably way too in-depth a response. I was probably meant to just say like Assassin's Creed, so I could pretend I'm an assassin. But if you want to believe that, then you can. Anyway, with that said, I still want to watch that at some point. Anyway, with that said, let's move on to the next question, which comes in from Jerry Tritz, who says #Q&A. Do you think Minecraft should add a first bar? So I wonder if they watched the video, because I clearly mentioned, whatever, #Q&A, it's a weird thing. You can do it, but it just makes me judge you a little bit. Yeah, well, so should Minecraft add a first bar? So I see this idea so often, so that's why I figured I'd answer this one, because everyone's like, oh, well, Minecraft has a hunger bar. Good idea for the next feature, a first bar. But think about the idea of a first bar, and then really, to me at least, I realized, wow, that's actually kind of a bad idea, because a first bar would just be another thing you have to do so you can focus on the main game. And think about it, because, you're only realistically going to be drinking, water, and maybe sometimes milk, it just means you have to stay somewhere near water, which means if you're in the nether, you have to leave every now and then, so that's no fun. And I just think, adding a first bar is actually it's one of the most suggested ideas that, to me at least, has, no, positivity, besides Besides, the one thing that I think would be cool is like, oh yeah, then you'd have a good use to try and get water to your place. But because water's movable, that's not a thing. Like, in some ways, I wish there was like a reason to want to transport water and like build an aqueduct, but there kind of isn't. But this doesn't even fix that, and that's why I think that it's just not a very good idea. And I'm judging you a little bit, Jerry, right now. Anyway, that said, let's move to the next question, which comes in from the Sky type. Sorry, I mean he can be a Sky Train too, but he's the Sky type, and he says hashtag not going to use the hashtag Q&A. When add-ons come, do you think they will be limited, or do you think it will be like PE, where you have all the abilities? Also, when do you think they'll come? March, May, April. I think they'll be between April and March, along with Realms. So you've got to bear in mind right now, 4J are working on the Switch edition, and I think like if I had to guess, every single time we've imagined like, oh yeah, this is totally going to be the year where we get an update in February or March or something. But for some reason, the first like 6 months of the year, not much really ever comes out. The really heavy, big, amazing content updates are usually the second half of each year. Anyway, that said, so when do I think it'll be coming out? I think it'll be like way later than, either those 3 months, like March, April, May. I mean, I could see May, but I don't think so. And when it does come out, I have to imagine there's two ways they can do it. They can do it with either just like, oh yeah, same as the PE, you just download files using this thing. And I think that'd be a bit weird. I think realistically what they'll end up doing is more like a Fallout or Skyrim system where you can just, they've got a store, they pre-curate the ones that definitely will work on the console, and then you just kind of install them and add them as you want, which would make it, easier on the console than the Pocket Edition. But there's still so many variables they have to decide. There's still so much they have to kind of work out for that to happen, especially because there's 6 consoles. And yeah, the whole add-on system for console, I have no idea how they're going to do it. And if they hadn't said like it's coming next year for console, in the 2016 E3 demo, I wouldn't even assume they're coming. But they've said it. They even gave us a year. Let's wait to the end of it and let's see what happens. So yeah, that's my add-ons thoughts. Let's move on to the next question, which comes in from Akishan Sivakuma, who says, I hope I got that right, I probably didn't, hashtag Q&A, if you could have any hostile mob as a pet in real life, what would it be? And the easy to answer this one is a creeper. 2 reasons. 1, creepers are like, cute, you just want to hug them, don't you? 2, because then you have like a portable explosive that you can, saying you want a portable explosive is probably a bad thing to say on the internet, but it's true, you bring it with you, and then suddenly you can blow holes in places if there's like a wall in your way, or, let's say that you're doing some demolitions work, then boom, you can save money on the TNT. I'm just saying, creepers are the most functional of all the hostile mobs, in my opinion. But with that said, let's move to the next question, which comes in from Potato Landers, who says, hashtag Q. If you are, see, that's the correct way to do it. Anyway, if you're going to get a new Android tablet, get an Nvidia Shield K1. Can you get an Nvidia Shield K1? You can play Portal 1, the Half-Life series, Doom 3, BFG edition on it. So yeah, basically saying get a Nvidia Shield. And Nvidia Shield is the tablet I always recommend to anyone when it comes to this. So like, I'm basically saying, yeah, I totally would, because I'd recommend that. However, the big issue is like, I'm not sure I want an Android tablet, because so for Mob Crush, they sent over an iPad, and that's what I use to do all my streaming. And because I already have a tablet, but just on the iOS side of things, it seems so stupid to buy an Android tablet when I have an Android phone. Like, because tablets, honestly, like, tablets are dying. If you don't know, the market for tablets is really, really dying, because I think people have realized they're just bigger phones. And I mean, the Nvidia Shield K1 has a lot of power, but I mean, realistically, it's just like, I can just use my phone, and that's the reason I haven't bought a tablet. And that's my advice to everyone. Like, if you want an Android tablet really badly, get the K1. But I think tablets are like, in maybe 5 or 10 years, we're going to look back and we're going to say like, what were they thinking? And at least that's what I hope, that's what part of me is thinking. And I'm sorry if you're watching this on a tablet, don't hate me. I'm just saying, in the future it'll be silly. Right now you're still really cool. And also please remember to like the video, please don't hate me. Anyway, that's let's move to the next question, which comes in from Drine Divera, who says, hashtag Q&A. Toycat, when will Spectral arrows come out? So when will Spectral arrows come out? In the future. But if you want me to be more specific than that, I'm going to assume they're going to be in the next, like, smallish updates. So, again, in the first half of the year, we tend to get, like, smaller updates for just, like, here's some things, here's those things, here's those things. That was a very inspecific way. But that's what usually happens in the first half of the year. So, Spectral Arrows, I imagine, will come with that update. We'll probably get some 1.7, 1.8 missing features, like, spectator mode, or this. There's going to be a lot of weird features like that, and maybe we'll see some of the 1.11.1 features. So, boosting your Elytra with fireworks, that's a cool feature they should add. Iron Nugget. There's some stuff like that I can imagine that they will probably add with their first update, whatever that ends up being, add-ons, the minigame, realms, just a regular update. But I think that's when Spectral Arrows will come out, because they're in the game code right now. I've shown them off in a video. It's just that they're not accessible for some reason. So yeah, let's move to the next question, which comes in from Dolfino99X, and they're a picture of a dolphin. He says, Toycat, do you swear much? And assuming you mean like in real life, because in the videos, it doesn't. I don't think I'd swear it much at all. Like every now and then I'll catch myself and I'm like, that's kind of funny. But yeah, for the most part, I don't swear in videos because it's just like, I mean, it doesn't add anything to them, and that's really my real life philosophy for the most part too. Like I usually don't swear for a really long time, and then I just like to, because this is the truth about swear words. Like when you're in like school or whatever, you're taught that they're just bad words. No one ever says. Truth be told, people say them all the time. That's why they're called swear words, because you can't just make forbidden words or people use them. But the trick is like you kind of build up the power. It's like if you're holding an attack like from Dragon Ball Z or something, and it gets more and more powerful. That's like your swear words. If you don't ever, okay, so picture someone you know in your life that doesn't swear. Imagine the worst swear word you can think of right now. Imagine if they called you that. You can be like, whoa. If you haven't seen that yet, then it happens every now and then. And that's what I like to do. I like to build up the power of my swears and then just like unleash it all at once. And that might sound like a sentence that makes absolutely no sense, but pro tip, give it a try sometime. Might blow some people away, or maybe it won't. I don't know. But that's I don't really swear too much, but every now and then I unleash it all at once. And so I guess especially not in videos, because like I mean when it comes to like swearing on YouTube, I feel like most people that do it are doing it to very deliberately aim at like 12-year-olds and 11. Like this seems really counterintuitive, but to aim at the younger audience on YouTube these days, you have to swear at them. Like I don't get that at all. But yeah, so I mostly don't do it in YouTube videos and live streams because it just doesn't really seem natural, fit what I'm doing. Although every now and then it will happen by accident. So for instance, in the Carolina Reaper stream, I think I accidentally said fuck when like I it had gone into my throat and I was like, oh yeah, you can watch it back sometime if you want to see that. And also in the early days of the Let's Plays. But besides that, it just doesn't. I mean, even in those senses, if you look back, it usually doesn't add anything, and it's just it's a weird it's weird how it affects YouTube. But that is there is overthought response to your dolphin question there, Mr. Dolphin Man. Let's move into the next question, which comes in from Sarah Stanley, who says, Q and not A. Should I get a PS4 or an Xbox One S? My friend has a PS4, but Xbox controllers work for everything, like PC and Android. So, I think as far as that goes, the big question is, like, do you care more about playing with your friend, or do you care more about having a slightly more functional controller? Because bear in mind, PS4 controller support is now available on Windows, so it is just about Android, and just about, certain games won't support PS4 controllers. You gotta kind of weigh that up in your head. Could you just buy an Xbox One controller and a PS4? There might eventually be adapters. There's a lot of things you have to consider like that. I would say value your friends more than your controllers, but I mean, there's still the argument to be made. I like my Xbox One S. I think it's got some benefits to it. So yeah, there's that. And also, actually, before we leave this one behind, because I see so many people say like, Toycat, should I upgrade to an Xbox One S? I've got an Xbox One. The Xbox One and the Xbox One S are exactly the same, besides the dimensions, and I think it's HDR and 4K playback. So yeah, just keep in mind that like if you see an Xbox One for crazy cheap, buy it, because it's the exact same console on the inside. A lot of people get confused by that. But yeah, that's the answer to your question. I think there was some considerations for your question, Sarah. Let's move on to the next final question, which is my favorite one, and it comes in from Goats for Life, who says, by the way, he's a goat. Q, I've been asking if you like goats forever, do you? And the answer to this question is I do like goats, but usually only baby goats. Like, when a goat gets too big, it just becomes this weird creature. But like, when you have a baby goat, like, the kind you find at a petting zoo, those are actually pretty cute. Actually, wait, weird little fact here. So one of my recent girlfriends used to have a goat. Like, she just owned it. It was in her back garden, and that, like, it was fully grown, but like, it was kind of small. And that thing just like looks at you in the eyes, and it looks like it wants to, like, if it could, it would be biting your throat out. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying, goats get a little bit evil if you let them grow too big. So pro tip, don't. Keep your goats tiny little baby goats, because those are adorable. Anyway, hope you did enjoy today's Q&A. Like it if you liked it, because it helps out the channel a lot. Let's know that you did like it. Share it if you really liked it. And subscribe if you're new around here, because I'm a cat on the internet, and that's something that you apparently need to subscribe to see more. Anyway, with that said, hope you all enjoyed it, because I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.